The pensions of City of Detroit retirees are sacrosanct. They were earned. They should not be tampered with. And in addition to the excellent points Chief Napoleon made, in addition, most firefighters and Detroit police officers in this city do not get Social Security because of the oddity in federal law, which means if you're cutting their pension, you're cutting what they were planning to live on the rest of their lives. And here's the part that makes no sense. Of the $12 billion debt that we're looking at, the pension is only about $2 billion of it. There are several ways that we can solve this problem without cutting into retirees' pensions. And I'm very proud to have the endorsement of this campaign of the Detroit General Employees Retirees Association. And here's what I intend to do. Kevin Orr can't make this decision by himself. He has to submit a plan of adjustment to Judge Rhodes, who has to ultimately approve it. And I've been in bankruptcy court before. I've done turnarounds before. I'm going to go in with an alternative plan if he tries to take the pensions and offer a different balanced budget that protects every single Detroit pensioner.
Sheriff, your rebuttal.
Again, I'm speaking to those men and women who have so steadfastly supported me in this effort. The men and women have asked me, who have given their careers to this great city, your pensions will be protected. To my brothers in blue, at the DPOA and the Lieutenants and Sergeants Association, your pensions will be protected. To those firefighters who endorsed me, who live in the city of Detroit, your pensions will be protected. I promise you that. Kevin Orr and no one else will tamper with your pensions.
Okay. Kelly, did you have a follow-up?
Yes, because I need you guys to be specific when you're speaking to the retirees in this great state of Michigan. We saw President Obama come here from Washington and save General Motors and save Chrysler with a bailout. I know you both disagree with Kevin Orr being here, but if the bankruptcy goes through, if these pensions are cut, if their health care is cut, do you have a specific answer for people who are sitting here afraid that they won't be able to live, they won't be able to survive? What will you do? How will you specifically fight for them to bring funds back to Detroit to help them?
I'll give each of you 30 seconds to respond to that.
Carolyn, I don't know if Washington's coming for a bailout, but the fight has to start here. The pension rights of public employees is enshrined in the Constitution of the state of Michigan. The Constitution says that these public employees' pensions cannot be tampered with. I don't know what more assurance we have. Whatever has to be done to save their pensions shall be done, and it will be done when I'm mayor of the city of Detroit.
Mr. Duggan, in fairness, you get 30 seconds
The
as well.
single best protection we can have from Kevin Orr trying to cut pensions is going into bankruptcy court with Judge Rhodes and offering an alternative plan of adjustment that equally balances the budget. I've got the history of doing financial turnarounds. I don't need any training in this, and I will sit with the unions and develop an alternative plan that will balance the budget, that will not touch employee pensions. We can defend this if we work together.
Very good. Gentlemen, we now are at the point in which we can have about a minute left, and I have some quick questions for you in which I think you can almost give me yes or no answers.
No such thing.
We're going to try. First and foremost, has the media been fair to both of you in this campaign? Mr. Duggan?
Reasonably.
Reasonably. Mr. Napoleon?
Absolutely not.
All right. Why not?
Very
quickly. That's all right. That's all right. I can see you can't answer that.
No, I can't answer that quick.
Okay,
because
all right.
it has been blatantly unfair.
We'll get back and give both of you time to expound upon that. Would either of you recruit Dan Gilbert to lead your economic development department if elected mayor? Mr. Napoleon.
A job? Mm-hmm. Is that what you're asking me?
Yes.
No.
No, I wouldn't expect him to be interested in that.
Yeah, but if he, but would you test him?
No, I wouldn't, no.
All right. Would you outlaw pit bulls in the city of Detroit? Mr. Duggan.
I wouldn't outlaw them, but I certainly regulate them.
I'm sorry?
I would not outlaw them, but I certainly regulate the way they were kept.
All right. Mr. Napoleon, should people in the city of Detroit be allowed to have pit bulls?
I would not outlaw them, but the fact is there are ordinances that are in place that regulates them at this point. They can't be running free, and they can't be on a leash longer than 6 feet. We just have to enforce it.
All right. Real quickly, should parents be held legally responsible for their children if they break curfew? Very quickly.
Oh, did it when I was in the gang squad all the time. $200 ticket, absolutely.
All right. Mr. Duggan.
I agree.
All right, very good. It's now time for a closing statement. Each of you have 2 minutes, and that was decided prior to the debate by a coin toss. And we will now begin with Mr. Duggan.
Well, I want to thank WXYZ and all our sponsors for this opportunity. When I started this campaign a year ago, a lot of people thought I didn't really have much chance of being elected mayor of Detroit. And I started out way behind in the polls, and then along the way I ran into a couple of bumps, including being thrown off the ballot for having filed my petitions 2 weeks too early. But when I stumbled, I was lifted by the people of Detroit, first with your prayers and then with your votes, the 48,000 people who wrote in my name and filled in the circle. And I've got to believe it's because I've been running a campaign that's different than what we've seen in the past. I've gone into the neighborhoods face to face and met with everybody who would invite me. I have been now, yesterday, my 248th house party. An opportunity where I get to know you and you get to know me. I have been campaigning in living rooms, in basements, in backyards, in beauty salons, in barbershops, in senior centers, in church halls, in every corner of the city. In every place I've been, I have been greeted with nothing but warmth and kindness. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard from somebody, this is the first time in 20 years we've seen a candidate for mayor in this neighborhood. That's the kind of campaign I've tried to run. And this weekend, we're going to do the 250th and final house party at my childhood home on Stansbury. I'm really pleased that the owner of the house has invited me back to finish the campaign in the house that I remember growing up in as a kid. I remember the Detroit we had. And if you will trust me with your vote on November 5th, I promise you I will work hard every single day as your mayor for the next 4 years to rebuild the kind of Detroit that this city deserves. Thank you and good evening.
Okay. Mr. Napoleon.
First and foremost, Detroit, I want to thank you for all of your support as I've gone throughout this community, meeting with you, thousands of you, in homes, in churches, in businesses. Chuck asked me how the media treated me fairly. And I just could not pass up the opportunity. I had something else to say, but I have to say this. No, it has not. This media in this town has been grossly unfair. My opponent has had revisionist history. They have forgotten everything that they've ever written about Mike Duggan. Bribes, fraud, kickbacks, no bid contracts, ghost employees. Mike's just not right for Detroit, but they want to convince you that Mike is. Big business and big money is trying to buy this race. They're trying to convince you that this is the best thing for you, to forget about everything that has happened in the past. That's just not right. The fact is, they can't buy your vote. I don't believe that your vote is for sale. They want to convince you that this race is over, that it's done with, that this is the fait accompli, that Mike is going to win this race. That's all propaganda, because I know what you tell me when I come into your neighborhood and when I come into your homes. We're going to win this race, but they want you to stay home. They want you to not vote, because they know a big turnout means a change in what they've been hearing all throughout this race. But as I close, I want to say, while Mike was sleeping in Livonia, I put on a bulletproof vest, a 40 caliber Glock, and I patrolled the streets of this city. While Mike was sleeping in Livonia, I was taking care of seniors. I was saving babies, and I was protecting the weak. While Mike was sleeping in Livonia, I was out there taking criminals off the street like Young Boys Incorporated, Pony Down, and the Chambers Brothers, while Mike was sleeping in Livonia. Mike's not right for Detroit. Mike's not right for you. He's not right for your children. You need to vote for what's right.
Gentlemen, I want to thank both of you for coming today. It's been a lively discussion. Now let's check in with Stephen Clark, who has been monitoring social media throughout this debate, and see what Metro Detroiters think.
This is what people, the Twitterverse kind of scores the thing right here. So a couple quick responses. Keith Owen says, Benny sounded strong in his attack on Duggan's DMC tenure, but Duggan swatted away. Napoleon's taking shots at Duggan, but can't get a good jab. Duggan seems a little bit less defensive than Napoleon. These were very, very accurate samplings of what people are saying. But I got this one right here. Napoleon says he has a background in public safety. Duggan has a background in restructuring, big business. Together, they make a great mayor. Maybe we can get them to run together.
All right. We end on
That's an idea.
Thank you, Stephen. I want to thank both of our candidates today for coming. We certainly appreciate it. We also want to thank our audience here, as well as the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History, and a very special thank you to everyone at home watching this or on your mobile, however you're participating. And we now want to join Stephen Clark, who is going to be monitoring a very special conversation on our post-debate webcast, the debate after the debate. You can turn to it at WXYZ.com. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. Good evening.
Good job. Yeah, we're good.